Another beautiful day in Verse Valley. The perfect day for a hike.
Mount Figura is no mere hike. It's more than meets the eye. You'll need this map. Come find me. Goodbye. Away to the top of the world!
Sure. Sounds good. We'll catch up with you, Haiku. She doesn't literally mean the top of the world, right? The mountain doesn't look that high. And besides, now that we have a map, this hike will be a piece of cake. Okay, Mia, I didn't mean like literal cake. I was speaking figuratively, you know? I meant this hike won't be too hard. Top of the world, piece of cake. Yeah, it's funny how sometimes words can mean more than just one thing, huh? This phenomenon has a name: figurative language. Figurative language is all around us, in songs, advertisements, everyday speech, and of course, in poetry. Today, we'll climb Mount Figura in order to master this element of poetry. We'll learn what figurative language is and how it impacts poetry. So, come on, let's hit the trail! Figuratively, Mia. No, Mia, of course we're not lost. We're just, So there were 3 paths before us, but our map just says, walk the whispering path, paved with autumn's treasure. I'm not seeing any paved roads or treasure chests here, and I'm certainly not hearing anyone whisper to me. Creepy, by the way. But maybe our map doesn't mean actual whispering or literal treasure. Maybe it's trying to use figurative language to describe something. What do you think? Pause the video here to write down which path you think the map is describing and why. Any ideas? I was thinking about the word whispering. When someone whispers, how does it sound? Quiet, rustling, soft. And what about autumn's treasure? A treasure makes me think of gold or jewels, and I associate the autumn or the fall with, I don't know, falling leaves. That's it. A path covered in beautiful golden leaves, which make a quiet rustling sound beneath our feet. It's this one. Based on what we just figured out, what do you think figurative language is? Figurative language is the use of language to create meaning beyond its literal definition. So, literal language just tells us exactly what something is. For example, if our map had been using literal language, it would have said something like, follow the path with yellow leaves on the ground. When we speak literally, we can communicate information in a clear, straightforward way. Figurative language, on the other hand, usually requires some interpretation, kind of like translating from another language. Think about gold, for instance. Real gold this time. How would you describe gold? You might say it's shiny, valuable, and beautiful. Now, what if I said, Mia has a heart of gold? I'm pretty sure Mia's heart isn't literally made of gold. Technically, she doesn't even have organs. Figuratively, though, we often use heart to talk about someone's emotions or true self. How might someone's true self be like gold? Well, if gold is shiny, valuable, and beautiful, to have a heart of gold probably means something like Mia's true self is genuine and bright. She's a kind, generous robot. As you can see, interpreting figurative language takes some time and thought. So, why do we use it? How does it affect poetry? Let's keep hiking and find out. Ugh, but this can't be a dead end. Use your head, Mia. Okay, no, not like that. I meant think. So our map seems to be very figurative, again. Upon the long trail my weary boots tread. The mountain cliff rises and fills me with dread. But looking within me reveals the true way. Through shadowy paths I ascend into day. Looking within. Maybe we need to look more closely at this poem. On the surface, what does this poem seem to be about? To me, it seems like a poem about someone hiking, reaching a dead end, and somehow figuring out where to go. But let's look a little deeper. Look for and underline any words or phrases that appeal to your emotions, your five senses, or your imagination. Pause the video here, then resume when you're ready. I noticed words like weary and dread, which I associate with negative emotions. The words shadowy and day appeal to my sense of sight, with a contrast between darkness and light. And looking within me makes me imagine who I truly am on the inside. So, let's look beyond the surface. What might this poem be about other than a hike? Let's think a little deeper to try and interpret it. What is something difficult you've had to do that made you feel weary? What's an experience you've had that felt dark and blinding at first, then became clear and easy to see? And what might it mean to examine your true self in order to find the way forward? Choose one of those questions to answer in your PDF. Pause now and resume when you're ready. Interpreting poetry and figurative language is often about making connections with our personal experiences. So our answers will probably differ a little. First, we often feel weary when working hard at something difficult or dealing with an uncomfortable situation. Sometimes new experiences can make us feel like we're in the dark at first, like moving to a new school or town. Over time, we understand those experiences more clearly. And to examine our true self might mean listening to our emotions for guidance or asking ourselves what we really want in life rather than just following others. So how did figurative language impact this poem and our experience reading it? Personally, I found it thought-provoking, like it was a puzzle to be solved rather than just simple information. I think it's pretty impressive how much meaning we were able to glean from just 4 lines of poetry. When a poem uses figurative language, its meaning is not always clear right away. Sometimes we have to look deeper, like we just did. Interpreting meaning in a poem is kind of like exploring the ocean. If we just look at it from the surface, what do we see? Well, it's water, all right. A lot of flat blue water. But is that all there is to the ocean? Of course not. For example, we know the ocean is also a habitat for animals, a dangerous natural force, a frontier of unexplored mysteries. In the same way, words can hold more meaning than just their literal surface-level definition. Like diving beneath the surface of the ocean, we can find depth in poetry as we reveal its layers of meaning created through figurative language. Our hiking poem ended up being about much more than just hiking, after all. We had to dive deep to uncover another layer of meaning. Really? Mia found a path. I guess we just needed to look deeper into the poem and ourselves in order for it to appear. Wait up, Mia! We'll see you at the top. We made it! Oh my goodness, look at the view!
You've reached the peak. Mount Figura taught you well. Now, can we eat lunch?
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that, Haiku. Mia's got a whole picnic basket full of snacks, and I am starving. Oh, figuratively, that is. Now that we've studied the basics of figurative language, we're ready to awaken the poet guardians and restore the power of poetry to First Valley. I'm gonna eat a sandwich first, though, and a cupcake. We'll set off on our quest in the next lesson. Until then, every story is a new horizon. See you next time!
Hey, hey.